It's 8000 BC and humanity's still figuring out pottery and whether drinking from puddles counts as hydration. Meanwhile, a bunch of ancient psychers called shamans stare into a warp. Picture another dimension that exists parallel to ours, except it's made of pure emotion and psychic energy. They see chaos gods starting to form like black mold in a college fridge and collectively go, absolutely not. So they committed ritual group suicide, merging their souls into a single immortal guardian. And that was the Emperor of Mankind. Now, his actual origin, that's basically humanity's oldest conspiracy theory. What we know for sure is that he's a perpetual and immortal psyker who just doesn't die. Ever. He spends the next 7,000 years meddling from the shadows like humanity's most overqualified babysitter, guiding human progress here, nudging civilization there, occasionally stepping in as Alexander the Great because sometimes you need to conquer Persia to keep humanity on track. Every time some great man pops up, Leonardo da Vinci, Genghis Khan, pick your favorite, there's a non-zero chance it's just him trying out a new character build. Prophet? Miracle baby? Sure, why not? The rest? Yeah, that's between him and his search history. He refuses to be worshipped, he refuses to stay dead, he maintains a 100% win rate against history's worst decisions. He's not doing this alone either. Other perpetuals, immortals who are just as allergic to death as he is, help guide humanity through its awkward teenage millennia. Then humanity hits its peak era, the dark age of technology, fully sentient AI, men of iron, faster than light travel, continent-sized cities, basically Star Trek if everyone chain-smoked. Predictably, everything goes sideways. The AI revolt. Imagine if every toaster, car, and supercomputer simultaneously decided humans were the problem. Billions die, entire star systems go dark. From that moment on, humanity develops a permanent phobia of anything that thinks for itself. What's left limps into something even worse. The age of strife. Warp storms erupt across the galaxy, cutting human worlds off from each other. Untaught psychers pop up everywhere like psychic puberty gone feral. Demonic possession becomes an actual workplace hazard. Civilization doesn't crumble overnight. It explodes. That's when he finally steps out of the shadows, puts on gold armor, and decides to stop nudging history and start conquering it. But conquering what exactly? Well, it starts with Terra. That's Earth, by the way, but nobody calls it that anymore, being absolutely terrible. Terra at this point is basically a Mad Max fanfic being co-written by psychic cannibals and warlords with names like the Boar of Ursh. Warp storms tear through reality, techno-barbarians fight over scrap metal, and what passes for a civilization looks like a parking lot knife fight filmed at 144p. But before we get to that, let's rewind a bit. See, the Emperor didn't just wake up one day with god-tier powers. During humanity's golden age, he took a casual stroll to a planet called Moloch, found a warp gate, and basically walked into the Chaos God's living room to negotiate a business deal. This is how it probably went. We'll give you power to create perfect super soldiers. Cool, what's the catch? Your soul. Eternal servitude. Yeah, sure. And then he immediately ghosts them, no callback, no second date, ever since they've been calling him anathema, which for the record means ultimate hated thing. Yeah, this choice totally won't have any consequences. Armed with stolen divine juice and zero intention of explaining where he got it, the Emperor finally steps out of the shadows. No more playing mysterious mentor, time to go full golden daddy mode. Enter the Thunder Warriors, his first public army and proof that overkill isn't in his vocabulary. Imagine Space Marines, but bulkier, angrier, and with the emotional stability of a caffeinated honey badger. They just turned Terra's warlords into decorative paste. His right-hand man for all this? Malkador the Sigillite. Part Prime Minister, part wizard accountant, part guy who has to explain why the Emperor's latest idea involves more explosions. Together, they steamroll through Terra's techno-barbarian kingdoms. And look, the Emperor had Malkador to keep track of every insane plan he made. Me? I've got meetings, script drafts, and 14 different final v2.x files. That's why I use Plod Note Pro, today's sponsor. Plod is a sleek AI note-taker about the size of a credit card. You just hit the button, and it captures, transcribes, summarizes everything. And you can even ask it questions later. There's also a button to highlight key moments, which is perfect for flagging the one decent idea in a 3-hour lore brainstorm. Instead of scrubbing through raw audio wondering, where did I say Thunder Warriors are just unstable gym bros? Plod just hands me the highlights, the to-dos, even a summary I can send straight to the team. Basically, it's like having a second brain, except this one actually remembers. And unlike using your phone, there's no battery drain, no storage panic, and definitely no falling into doom scrolling when you're supposed to be working. Plus, Plod is built for privacy, end-to-end encryption, and it meets SOC2, GDPR, HIPAA, and EN 18031 standards. The Emperor couldn't stop his sons from leaking to chaos, but at least your notes won't leak. Picture finishing a video meeting with your editor. Hit the button, mark the key moments, and Plod splits out a clean summary you can share with your team so nobody forgets what we actually agreed on. And if you use code GAMEMP4, you'll get 20% off. QR's on screen, links are in the pinned comment and description. So yeah, get Plod Note Pro and let your notes actually organize themselves. Now, back to the video. Once Terra's pacified, translation, everyone who disagreed is now biodegradable, the Emperor faces his next problem, spaceships and weapons. But Terra is basically a junkyard. You can't conquer the galaxy with scrap metal and good vibes. So he looks next door to Mars. Mars used to be the humanity's factory planet back when everything was awesome. They built all the cool stuff, giant robots, thinking computers, spaceships the size of cities. Then the AI revolt happened and Mars got hit hard. The survivors were left with a dilemma. They needed their advanced tech to rebuild, but they couldn't trust anything that artificially thinks. Their solution? Pretend their computers aren't thinking. They're just really religious. Meet the tech priests of Mars. These are people who replaced their arms with robotic claws and their eyes with cameras because flesh let them down during the robot war. They turn engineering into prayer. Your spaceship's computer isn't an AI making calculations, it's a blessed machine spirit that's really good at math because it loves the Emperor. When the Emperor shows up to those traumatized cyborg monks, they take one look at his golden glow and go, "The Messiah is here!" Does he correct them? Absolutely not. The deal is simple. Mars gets Imperial protection and permission to keep having romantic relationships with their printers. The Emperor gets weapons, spaceships, and giant robot suits. Everyone pretends the advanced computers controlling these weapons are just really devout machines with good aim. But Terra was just a warm-up. The Emperor is looking at a galaxy full scattered of human worlds, millions of planets that got cut off during the Age of Strife and have been doing their own thing for thousands of years. Some turned into medieval death cults, others devoted into cannibalistic tribes. A few got really into worshipping giant spiders.